artificial intelligence, AI. The fact that it's rapidly been integrated into our everyday life, are you excited about it or are you scared about it? Which part of the fence do you stand on? Write down in the comments below, excited or scared. And today, that's going to be the topic of this video. A couple of days ago, my friend from work asked me about, the most simple question. And I guess it's just an introduction to AI, which it's fine. I have no quarrels, don't judge. It's better to get started than not. He asked me, what is ChatGPT? Now, I find this fascinating in many different levels. So I'm just going to choose one to begin with. At the very first level, I'm like going, wow, I am so glad that you asked me. Thank you to my friend. I take privilege that, he will come up to me and ask me such a question because to some degree, he believes I'm a point of credibility to give such an answer. And it gives me an opportunity to teach, which is something that I love. I find it fascinating that, on the other sense, is that, wow, how do you not know about this? This is so obvious. This is such a big thing in today's world, which is absolutely fine because that's my paradigm of seeing the world. He will obviously have things in his world that's like common sense to him, which I have absolutely no idea of. It could be something in the realm of, say, sports or something I don't give two hoots about. I don't give a two hoots about the world of sports. He knows the obvious. So this is where different varieties things happen. So you can't look at things in your own sort of paradigm. But anyway, not digressing through that sense. It goes back to the question, are you excited about it or are you afraid of it? Now, as I said, in this conversation, it sparked really good conversations that's happening. I think it's okay to be, I can accept two forms of the answers. Like I said, I'm a very multifaceted, multi-perspective sort of person. I can see both sides of the argument and I can stand for both. So in this video, much like the video in the previous about change, I'm going to talk the two perspectives. First, I'm going to start off with my own. And then I'll spend a little bit of time talking about the negative, the scary parts of AI integration into the world. I am positive because it is just so revolutionary. Now, I love efficiency. I love being able to make harder things easier in this world. I think if you go into that trajectory of life, of making difficult things easier, you're creating closure. You are solving problems. Hard is problem. Moving towards easier is solutions. Right? A problem is meant to move towards easier. And that is productivity. A definition of productivity. Right? So if you have a problem that you have to make 50 meals, cook 50 meals, you're a chef, dinner tonight, that problem is solved when the 50 meals are made and everyone is fed. So problem to solution. And in that time frame is resolution of that problem. So it's a verb, it's an action. Now, what AI does is that it can turn what was once, like I'm saying, what was once in the past that used to take a long period of time and effort and energy into something a lot faster. Like we are talking of an example of this. You can, if it takes you a whole day to write an email of 1,000 words to your boss, right? So that's that resolution used to take nearly 24 hours into a day. What AI can potentially do with scary good quality is to turn that 24-hour job into a 1-minute job. So it's shorten the time horizon, shorten the amount of time required to do that task. Your productivity and your efficiency has just exponentially improved. And that, in its most simple form, is a great thing, right? Because you freed up time. Yes, AI can be considered another piece of technology, which it is. And the definition of technology in economics is basically any object, subject, asset, thing that can create more output with lesser input over time. Now, just got to think to see if I got that right. It can create more output with lesser time. All pieces of technologies does that. Let's just pick out the printer. It can print out thousands of pieces of paper, so it's got more output, faster than what we used to do in the olden days where we used to have people on typewriters. So that was the input. So less input with more output. And in a sense, that's like an arbitrage. You want to keep that going. You want that to keep evolving in all facets of life. And that's advancement in technology. So that's a positive. AI is good in that sense. And it can do that to a lot of different things. And it's exciting because it's not just staying still. It is improving exponentially. Every day, every week, every month, every year, this piece of technology is just advancing. To me, that's exciting. That's good. Because another part of my perspective is that there's a part of me that looks at this world that goes, oh my God, why do we keep doing things the old-fashioned way when there's an easier way to do things? Have you ever noticed that? And my friend did introduce the word into the conversation, which is so appropriate. He called it busy work. Like you're just doing things for the sake of moving. Just action biased. But if you look at it, not even looking at it too hard, there's a part of you that tells you, that goes, what I am doing is utterly useless, but just keep going anyways. Yeah. Looking at it generally, the definition of all that, doing something that has no value whatsoever, it's not working towards any form of goal or overall objective or good objective. We're moving towards very close to the English definition word stupid. What you are doing is pure stupidity. Busy work is stupid. Do you encounter much busy work in your day-to-day life? Why do you need to do lots of busy work? It's stupid. Here's starting to come a little bit of my arguments towards it. Ask yourself this. Why does this happen? We have all this great technology that's happening. And like I said, we got this AI, artificial intelligence, which is just evolving by the microseconds. It can do what was once considered a 24-hour task, that was my example before, just arbitrary, into a task that's in 1 minute. Okay. Yet, why do we still hold on to old, outdated ways of lifestyles, such as the industrial age, where here in Australia, a full-time workload is 40 hours. Wouldn't it be by definition, if you can do a task that was once 24 hours now into 1 minute, what do you do for the rest of the 23 hours and 58 minutes? Now, this is a question that is always left unspoken. It's an elusive question. We all know it's there, we all know it exists, but nobody wants to answer it. Nobody wants to stand up and answer it. It is. Because what you do, you're filling it with busy work, stupid work, as we've kind of defined. And I go back to the example when I asked you that question. Do you encounter many of these sorts of tasks in your day-to-day professional life? You do things for the sake of being action biased. You're doing something for the sake of doing something. Okay? So if you have a car and the purpose of the car is to go from point A to point B, but if you can actually arrive to point B in a shorter amount of time, what you're metaphorically doing is spinning your wheels. You just got to turn those wheels, because when you turn the wheels, it looks like the car is moving. It looks like, it gives the perception that the car is moving, but in fact it's actually not, because you can arrive to point B at a faster amount of time. So why do you need to spin wheels? Why do you need to expend time, energy, location, life into spinning the wheels? I have one reason for this, and it does kind of go off topic, so it's another thing that I want you to put a comment on if you want to remind me to make a video on this. And that is because the only reason why you're spinning wheels and filling up time with stupid work is because of the concept of authority. That's it. Authority. There is a person that is being put into a place of authority that will reprimand you, that will cause you pain, will do bad things, will give you bad emotional states, all this not good stuff, punish you, fire you, write a report on you. If you don't do the stupid work. Sounds ironically stupid, doesn't it? You have to be there for the 40 hours a week. No one wants to consider the fact that the job can be done in 1 minute. They just can't accept that. Anyway, that's the end of that particular talk. So AI, without going into too much deep talk into AI, I know I didn't really generally talk about that. AI is a piece of technology. It's an evolving piece of technology. It's an exciting piece of evolving technology that is in this day and age that can increase productivity like nothing that we've ever experienced before in history. No, actually, I say that wrong. It's like a revolutionary pace. In my opinion, the last item that was this revolutionary was Steve Jobs' vision of everybody having the phone, a music player, and the internet in your pocket, i.e. the iPhone, smartphones. Everyone has a smartphone now. I think that was the last one, and I believe AI tops that. It's going to have more of an impact because the type of impact that the AI could potentially have is that it can kill off jobs. It can kill off employment. And that's where I stand from anyone who is afraid of it. Now let's talk about that side of the story, because I'm a multifaceted person. Okay, let's talk about the bad things, why you should be scared of AI. Now I've talked about the advantage because AI revolutionized. It puts productivity advancement in a way that is exponential. It can turn 24-hour work into 1 minute work. And I think what people are afraid of is that they're going to lose their jobs. They're going to lose their purpose in life. They're going to lose their contribution or their perceived contribution to the world because they no longer have to do busy work. They have something that can replace them. They will make people redundant. Now, these are all scary words. These are all pessimistic sort of outlooks for all good reasons that they are. They're scary. You know, if you're ever going to be made redundant, that's not a good thing. If you're ever going to be replaced, that's not a good thing. If there's always going to be something that overcompetes you, that beats you, that makes you lose to a piece of technology, that's not a good thing. So these are legitimate reasons to be afraid of AI and to have negative viewpoints to it. This goes back a little bit to my previous set of videos, like video 1 and video 2, on change. AI is changing the way work is being produced. It's an inevitable change. It's not going to go away anytime soon. And it's already integrated. And on the last bits of the video, I mentioned, like, how do you manage the good times and the bad times, depending on your perspective? How do you manage the fact that AI is going to take over or going to be integrated into daily life, daily productivity? And it makes perfect sense to replace you if it can do it faster and more efficient and more reliable. So what do you do? What do you have to do? Well, first, you're going to have to change the ways that you've been doing things, just like how AI is going to change the way the world is going to work and make productivity. You are going to have to change to survive. If your desire is to survive. If you don't want to survive, don't change. Stay where you're at. Be ignorant of artificial intelligence. And I believe that is the worst position to be ignorant, just to not let it happen. That's like the equivalent of saying, it's now 2024, I refuse to use a computer and a smartphone in a developed world. Just outright refuse to have that. Cool, good luck to you. All the best. That's if you remain ignorant, which I hope that if you're watching this video, at least you're not there. I'd rather you be afraid of AI, because if you're afraid of AI, that means it's creating those emotional changes, and one day, eventually, hopefully you'll come to a realization like, oh shit, I better jump on this bandwagon before I'm running out of time because it's hurting me too much. So being pessimistic and scared is not necessarily a bad thing. If you're excited about it, that means that you're going, hey, this is the way it's going to happen. We have to, how opportunities can I see in this world? It's where I'm standing. Like, how can I make this world a lot better? How do I capitalize on this? How do I get leverage, positive leverage? Leverage is a really good word. Should be another video. Write the word leverage if you got to this part, and it'll just remind me to talk about that word. So like I said, what do? You got to change. Another thing I want you to do is, it's a realization. It's a piece of fact. Your job, don't worry, won't get taken over by AI. AI is not going to take over your job. After all that I've said that. But don't get too happy just yet, because it's a play on words, it's semantics. Because your job will still become redundant. You're going to become redundant over somebody who is controlling that AI. So it's still going to be a person. It's still going to be a living, breathing, bleeding, emotional human being that's controlling that AI. So what's the perspective look here? Can you see the perspective look? Give you a moment to think about that, what it could be, what I'm about to say. Okay. The perspective look is, you want to be that person who controls AI. You want to be that person. It's a fight to that person. You want to be that one person that can control the whole factory, which used to require thousands of people to do the job. Now it does to one. Just like what a person on the computer can now press print 1,000 copies of A4 sheets onto a printer that replace the work of 1,000 typists. You want to be that person that presses print. You got a good job, which only takes 1 second. The value of that job, your productivity is increased. They should pay you a lot. A lot. That's why I'm so optimistic about it. You have to be that person. So it is a fight. Okay. If you don't want to be that person and you don't want to be that controlling AI, you want to change the way that you add value to the world. And you want to add value in a way where AI cannot touch, where it cannot have much of an impact. And in my opinion, these are the areas of human to human relationships. Just like things like resolving things like loneliness, love, family, relationships, friends. Now, not going too deep into like artificial virtual girlfriend, boyfriends and digital things, because these things are coming out. Oh my God, there's a problem for everything. There's a solution for everything. There are smart people in this world. But I believe in the world of people will still be emotional, and they'll need to find ways to combat emotional problems. And the way that you're going to combat that is with another emotional person. Chemicals is going to fix up chemicals. I don't think ones and zeros are going to fix up emotional problems. So if you got work where that resolves problems relating to human connections, that's going to be a good increase. Because I can't really envision AI, that's me, doesn't mean it's not going to happen, there's no guarantee, AI touching that anytime soon. Hence why I'm choosing my niche as to work on building people's self-confidence through public speaking. The AI, I don't think, can touch that as effective as I can. That's what I believe. That's what keeps me awake for the future. There was another thing. Let's think. So I've spoken about, oh yes, I know what it is. So I've spoken about change is inevitable. It's going to take over. You've got to find ways to work on things that's human to human connection, emotion to emotion types of jobs. The third one is the world of cybersecurity is going to have to match the reliance of AI. The world of cybersecurity is going to be monstrous, because what I believe, if things are going to be evolved, people are going to be reliant on AI. They're going to put their whole lives onto AI. Okay, you think you might have married your spouse, but you can have like a divorce and things can happen, or it could be an accident, someone could die, right? So that was a term of certainty. I know it's quite doom and gloom. I'm sorry if I put that out there. But I believe the future, we're going to rely on AI so much. And it's going to take over everything in our world. Just like how we don't do long division anymore with pen and paper. We go to a calculator to do that job. AI is that calculator. But we're going to be relying on everything. We're going to put our livelihoods onto AI. our banking, if it's not already there, our internet banking, our lives, our decisions, the way we make decisions. The security of that needs to keep up at all ways, because one of the downsides of AI is it's not another person. And like I said, it's controlled by another person. And you want to make sure it's controlled by a person with good intentions. It's controlled by good intentions. And the way that you're going to do that, the only way to do that, to omit negative outcomes, is to keep security top notch. This is like the battle of the fitness in the technology and keeping up with it. You're going to have to keep up. You have to keep technologically, artificial intelligence savvy all the time, because it's evolving. So you have to keep up with it. So areas in cybersecurity is always going to be something that is always going to be progressing, and it's always going to require value added. It changes so rapidly. What you don't want to be in the situation is someone having that advantage over you and be able to find a way to compromise your life. They compromise your life because they picked you as a weaker target, because you were ignorant with your cybersecurity savviness. You were unfit. And as natural selection has it, only the fittest survive. That kind of ties in to say you don't want to remain ignorant. I urge you not to remain ignorant with artificial intelligence. The date now is the 29th of June 2024. Do not remain ignorant. If you haven't started yet, I urge you to start now. Just Google it. Look a couple of YouTubes on AI. Do a search on, say, AI for beginners. Explain to me AI. Just start now if you haven't done so already. Yes, you probably should have done that years ago, because AI's been out there for years. You don't want to be, I don't want my viewers to be that person who's ignorant, that falls behind the bandwagon of remaining ignorant of AI. Don't keep your head buried in the sand when this is growing faster than a virus around you. That's going to end my AI talk. On an optimistic note, I'm really excited about AI and what's happening in this world. Type in, Henry, tell me more about AI, and I'll make a video dedicated to that, because there's so much cool stuff that you can do now, which was very difficult in the past. And I'm not even barely scratching the surface. I'm just observing it from afar. I'm not even touching it yet. I'm learning it as I go too. So stay tuned. If you want a video on that, like I said, put a comment to say, Henry, tell me about AI in the comments below, so I know that, one, you got to this part, and thank you. This is a long video. This is 29 minutes. And yeah, and that will get me talking more. And you can see another human connecting with you about that topic. So till then, remember, which side do you stand on the fence? Are you excited or are you scared? You are going to be either one of the two. You're not going to be ignorant. And if you are, I'd like to read your thoughts about it. Put in the comments below. Till then, take care, be safe, and I hope to see you in the next video.